I've gathered every instance of hate I found in the first 5 episodes of Witch Hat Atelier so far, and we're going to hate scale Agott, all right? We're going to look at this hate and talk about how much of a hater she is being in any given context, particularly looking at 1, how much she's hating, and 2, if her hate is justified. The Agott hate meter will be used to judge the amount of chill or hate Agott is operating with at any given moment that we watch. If she's cool in it, if she's justified, okay, we're gonna get the hate meter down with the ice emoji. If she's tweaking, the hate meter goes up with the fire emojis based on what y'all decide. I'm gonna start with Exhibit A, the very first instance of Agott hate in the series. All right, so this is when Coco first really getting acclimated to the room, right? She's looking around. She just got to the Atelier, mind you. About to touch some shit. That's my side of the desk. Off rip. First line of dialogue in the whole series. Not, hey, how are you? I'm Agott, nice to meet you. Instantaneous hate, damn near. Okay, Coco is going to reach for her stuff. That is technically her stuff. But let's keep it a stack right now. Let's talk about it. We gotta really break this down because Coco is about to touch her stuff. That's fair. However, there's nicer ways to say it. She easily could have hit the, oh, hey. Oh, that's mine. But you know what? She not doing anything crazy right now. So we're gonna let it slide. Coco looks around and looks up to see a god floating in midair. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Is this farming hate? I feel like I can respect the farm. Farming and hate are 2 entirely different things, okay? If she wants to farm on the newbie to be cool, that's cool. Out of the way, I'm landing. Okay, now, is this hate? Is this hate? Again, one thing about Agott that you're going to notice throughout all these instances of hate is that the way she talks really be throwing shit off for me, bruh. Out of the way, I'm landing. How about excuse me? The thing you're going to notice is that a lot of times, her head be in the right place. A lot of times her actions be justified and her ideas are low-key correct, but the way she presents them is so nasty that it just adds to her overall hating. All right, Coco moves. She lands next to her. She's cool in it. Coco comes to introduce herself. I'm Coco, I know. Hi, damn. Sorry to hear about your mother. This one is borderline. I genuinely don't know if she was trying to leverage the mother stuff against her. This side eye is kind of throwing it off for me, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Right here. All right, sorry to hear about your mother. She'll never be flesh and blood again, will she? Okay, now this is crazy. You just met this girl. You already talking about, yeah, so you kind of killed your mother, gang. I'm not going to hold you. This right here is when I started to look at Agott a little sideways, bro. Because, again, even if technically what she's saying is right, bringing it up is pure hate. This could have gone unsaid. No one needed to hear this. Yeah, she ain't wrong, but it's not all about not being wrong, bruh. You can be right and have manners. What is added to the conversation by her saying this? Look at Coco's reaction, bruh. Straight tears in the eyes, bruh. That shit hit her in her soul. Granted, Coco do be crying over a lot, so, you know. This is what my whole life has been. Check out my finger pads. Off the rip, she doesn't know this girl yet. You just met her and you already on her ass. I feel like the hate is rising here. There's no way an outsider like you will ever be a witch. Okay, now we're just getting into straight up like race. Now we just getting into smooth xenophobia, bruh. It's tough. That's not tough love. That is hate. Where is the love? For it to be tough love has to be there. I see people in the comments, yo, Agott low-key be right, bro. She just trying to toughen Coco up. Now, I will say she do be right sometimes, but that still doesn't justify the way she presents things. All right, then prove yourself. Your test who gave you the permission? Yo, who did she feel like right now? She must have thought her name was Keyfree. Talk about your test starts tomorrow. Okay, Tedia comes in. Shout out Tedia. Agott walking off for no. This is how you know she really hate and really being a bully. The moment someone else comes in to witness it, now all of a sudden she can't talk no more. Now all of a sudden she's gone. That's what makes me suspicious. Moving on. Exhibit B, the next instance of hate. Potentially. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, you should consider checking out my Patreon, where I have my full unedited reactions for videos like this one. I'm also offering seasonals that we don't cover on the channel and Patreon exclusive content. So if you want more content or just a way to support the channel, check it out. All right, 𝙏𝙖𝙡 is trying to, tap Coco into the basics, general casting seals, the easy stuff, okay? All right, now I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm not gonna lie, and this is where Agott sometimes be justified, right? This shit would kind of piss me off on the low, I'm not gonna lie. But let me tell you this. If I'm Agott right now, I'm not pissed at Coco. I'm pissed at 𝙏𝙖𝙡. Uncle, you were supposed to be watching the spell. 𝙏𝙖𝙡 is a magic genius, bro. Damn near. At the very least, a professional. He should have been able to look at this spell and see that it was going to hit her, which makes me wonder, what's 𝙏𝙖𝙡 really on, bro? Because why did he let this spell go off facing in her direction? However, let's continue to watch the clip, right? Because things might not go as we initially expect. I'm not really bothered in the least. All right, let's analyze this line right here. Because what this tells me is that Agott is choosing to hate, bro. Because if in moments like this she can keep her composure, then why can't she keep her composure when Coco's on some, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? She keeping it cool. All right, Agott gets the casting seal. She looks at it, analyzes the problem. I mean, we see the big ass issue over here. That sign is longer than the others. Now look, this is genuine advice right here. Okay? You want to talk about tough love or whatever? This is genuine advice. This sign is longer than the others. That's where you messed up. That's why I got splashed. But look, this is making me think that she was low-key trying to act a certain way for 𝙏𝙖𝙡, who was over here watching. You know what I mean? Making sure 𝙏𝙖𝙡 saw that she knew her magic stuff. 𝙏𝙖𝙡, and again, we might have to open a dialogue on 𝙏𝙖𝙡. Yeah, she should be in good hands with you. 𝙏𝙖𝙡 gets gone. I told you to prove yourself. Already changed. The moment 𝙏𝙖𝙡 step out the room, now the energy changes all of a sudden. I told you to prove yourself, by the way. And I intend to make you? Who gave her the permit? What do you mean I intend to make you? Who said you could do that? The fact that she actively will act different when 𝙏𝙖𝙡 is in the room versus when 𝙏𝙖𝙡 is not in the room. Again, that lets you know this isn't just a personality trait. That lets you know this is an active decision to act a certain way towards Coco, bro. As of now, your cushy little lessons are over. And your test is, again, who you pressing? Whose face are you getting up in? Is these moments where she's lucky, like, I'm really not Coco, bro? Because we'll tussle, no magic involved. Let me chill. She finna throw a fireball at me. Exhibit C. Again, 5 episodes in, we got hella exhibits already. This is probably a little while after what we just witnessed, right? Coco already strapped in with a bag, a Little Red Riding Hood hood. So she was about to send her there without self shoes. And you know she was thinking about it too, because she had the nerves to adjust her self shoes before sending her out there. Look at this. She looks at the shoes, adjusts them after getting off the chair, and then basically says, yeah, you can go out there. So you can't even say, oh yeah, she just didn't think about it. She was just playing with her shoes. She's thinking about it right now. Yeah, I'm about to send her out there with no self shoes, bruh. Just a bag. I passed the test when I was 10. Did we ask? Again, she's making this sound like this is authorized. And then she really gaslighting my girl Coco into believing this is normal. She's taking advantage of Coco's trust, Coco's relative, let's keep it a stack. Coco might be a little too trusting, just in general. She's a nice person. I think she tries to see the best in people. She's taking advantage of Coco's nature to bullshit her. The guidance orb that points your way to the destination. Again, all right, she gave her the orb, meaning she has tools on the mind. Vapor bubble for drinking water. That's probably all you can use right now. So she got something in her head. She's like, she's actively choosing to say, yeah, fuck the shoes, bruh. That's probably all you can use. Yeah, go ahead out there. Go on. See, she's trying to rush her out too, not even giving Coco time to think. Now, obviously, big Coco, Coco is able to realize that she's getting played, that she's being gaslit, and, use her own intelligence to inquire about the shoes. Again, bro, what's with this expression? She's asking an entirely valid question in order to survive the doom trial you're about to send her out to. It be these expressions too, now that I'm thinking about it, let's talk about it, bro. It's not just the guy's actions. She be hitting that face all the time. Why are you looking at my girl Coco like that? She's asking a valid question, and you're acting like she's just out here annoying you. And see, now she got Coco scared. Oh no, if it's too much, forget it. I said, no, Coco, keep pushing for you to borrow. So just push them Jones into her chest. Now tell me why this was necessary. Tell me what part of tough love this is. This is straight bullying. Pushed her into that shit, bro. Pushed her into the Dadah range. Slammed her down there, middle of the night. I forgot to mention. Oh yeah, okay, now it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. I forgot to mention it, quote unquote. I forgot to mention it, but you can only take this test once. Oh, so you forgot to mention it, but it suddenly came to your head the moment you pushed her into the Dadah. Okay, if you fail, you'll never be allowed to be Master Keyfree's apprentice, which isn't even true. And you'll have to leave the Atelier. Who gave you this power? Who gave you the decision? You're a child. She low-key role-playing out here, bro. Closed the door on her too. Didn't even give her a chance. Now look, let's look at her reasoning in Exhibit D. Atelier comes through, you know, she knows Agott and Coco are supposed to be working with each other. So, you know, just casually inquires, hey, you seeing Coco around? Coco's not here. She went to the Dadah range for her test. Okay, so look. And this is how Agott is smart. I'll give that to her. Agott is intelligent because look at how she worded this. It wasn't I sent her to the range for her test. Nah, she left a little bit of plausible deniability in there. Made it sound like, you know what I mean, she already had the test lined up. Oh yeah, she went to the Dadah range for her test. I would have more respect for Agott's hate if she owned the hate. Yeah, I sent her out there to the Dadah range for her test. But nah, there's something about the fact that she still feels the need to, you know, omit information. This is how I know that she knows she's wrong, which again, only adds to higher hate scaling. And look at Teddia's reaction. Teddia presumably knows just as much about the Dadah range test as Agott. And this is her reaction. I hate people. The golden line. I hate people who can't do what I can. Nah, like this is undeniable hate. She said it herself. She owned the hate in her soul, in her chest. Oh yeah, I really hate people who can't do what I do. She hates non-witches. That's what I'm hearing. This right here is the gist of what's going on here. She hates people who can't do what she does. And so that's why she's bullying Coco. I gain no benefit being around them. Mind you, she's 12 years old talking like this. This draconian Machiavelli-ass like mindset. Oh yeah, if you don't benefit me, you can't be around me, Coco. Nah, I don't got friends. I got beneficiaries. Like what? Especially outside. Now look, if we put this into any other context, we would be frying whoever said it. Frying them up like French fries for discrimination, for prejudice. Now, granted, I don't know what her deal with outsiders is. I'm sure it's probably going to be explained at some point. I'm sure it's something she will mature out of. I'm sure that's her arc. But where she stands right now, look at the hatred. Nah, we got to move the subtitles, bro. We got to move the subtitles. Oh, wait, I hard-coded them into there. Never mind. Look at the hatred in her expression. You 12 years old. You shouldn't even know how to make this. You shouldn't have this level of hate in your heart yet. Don't worry. She'll fail and come back soon enough. So look. What happened to you were sending her out to see if she's worthy? No, in your head, you think she's going to fail. So you didn't send her out to see if she's worthy. You sent her out because you thought she would fail. So all that tough love shit is gone. This is not an actual test. This is a setup. She's trying to line Coco. She's trying to line my girl. You can't tell me that's not hate. Because even if you take the assumption that she is in good faith wanting to test Coco, like the rest of them were tested in good faith, this line right here, the certainty at which she delivers, oh yeah, she'll fail. Nah, that don't sound like good faith to me. The Dadah range is at its highest. Look at how, and she knows too, mind you, I don't know how she knows this about the Dadah range, but she so happens to know the Dadah range is at its highest this time of year, which leads me to believe that she knows what Keyfree and the cat hair girl were talking about at the beginning of the episode when they were like, oh yeah, the Dadah range is so high, we wouldn't even take anyone out there for a test. That's too dangerous. If she knows the Dadah range is at its highest, and she knows so much about the test, then she should know that you don't do the test when the Dadah range is this high. But she sent Coco as a noob out to the Dadah range. What's going on? What's going on, Agott? She doesn't even know the rules. oh, okay. Like I'm really, I didn't really peep the dialogue last time, but now I'm like actually reading it. She doesn't even know the rules or realize how dangerous this is. Okay, again, assuming she was assuming she was trying to test Coco in good faith, whose responsibility was it to give her the rules and tell her how dangerous it is? That would have been yours. You omitted that. That's pristine level hate. I can't lie. She's hating on a level that we haven't seen in anime in a long time. Because she's hating for no reason. She is hating this hard in a show. She is hating so hard. What am I trying to say? She is hating this hard in a show that we don't even see this level of hate in. I haven't seen like she's doing this out the soul. She's really a hater in her bones. She doesn't even know the rules or realize how dangerous this is. This is potentially lethal hate. She's trying to get my girl killed out here. I don't want someone like that in our world. Damn near, might as well call her a slur, bro. It's not even, okay, again. Let's look at the line. I don't want someone like that in our world. That confirms this wasn't a good faith test. She's saying it herself. She's saying it to Tedia. If I'm Tedia right now, I'm snitching to Big Keyfree. Exhibit E. Yes, we have more exhibits. All right. This is at the end of the Dadah Range, right? You know what I mean? Coco. You know, we've already established at this point that Keyfree is making an exception for Coco, right? She technically doesn't have to take the Dadah Range test yet because of, like, whatever. You know what I mean? You know, she got expedited. Nepotism, all right? In fact, I would say that Agott's hate is slightly valid if you're assuming that she isn't a fan of the nepotism. Okay, because this scene right here does confirm that the plan was to have Coco become a witch due to her connects with Keyfree and the brimmed caps. So, okay, you could argue that Agott's hate towards that nepotism is slightly valid, but let's see how this continues to play out. Okay, so she hits the corner, right? She hits the corner, not making her presence known. Ready to see Coco fail. Ready to just itching to see my girl fail. All right, boom, the gate opens. Clap it up for my girl. Clap it up for my girl. This moment was still too tough. Coco back with the flower. Look at the surprise on her face. This looks like she looks like she's seen a ghost. This looks like someone who tried to kill someone and then saw them. Like, oh yeah, you tried to murder them. Boom, boom, you think you got them. And then they come back. This how Toji was looking when he saw Gojo. Look, everyone going to hug her. They're I'm so happy you're alive. I'm so happy you're safe. I was worried about you. Okay, boom, she pulls up on okay. This expression alone got some hate on it, boy. This expression alone got some hate on it. If you look at the corner, I'm pretty sure her fists are bald. It's cut off by the frame. I'm pretty sure she thinking about hooking my girl, bro. Let's see her reaction now. She looks at the flower, looks back up at her. No words, just walks off. No congratulations. Not even okay. Just up and leaves. Walks back up the stairs. Don't even want to be in the presence of her happy moment. She said, we down here happy for Coco. Nah, I'm out this bitch. I'm gone. I'm going back up the stairs. Again, Keyfree, I'm putting this on Keyfree. Keyfree has to do something about this behavior. All right, Exhibit F. All right, this is when they first hit the witch's town. All right, Coco's excited, looking at the town. Everyone, this is a group activity. All right, let's start off with that context, right? Let's start off with that context. This is a group activity. We all got to the witch's town. We're all going up there to support Coco as she gets her ink, her pen, the stuff needed to really be a witch, a magician, whatever you call it. Okay, mind you, she didn't even wait for my boy Keyfree to finish talking. They were in a cutaway. She turned off the cutaway. Let's look. Excuse me, boom, turned off the cutaway. Ruined everyone's moment. Look at everyone's expression. They all know the hate is coming. Why do they all got the same face? I have better things to do than play tour guide for Coco. Bro, what? I'm going off on my own. Okay, so like let's analyze what she's saying right here. Because even if we give her the benefit of the doubt and say that, all right, sure, she had other things she wanted to do, what'd she have to throw Coco in there for? It's forced hate. Coco wasn't looking at her. Coco wasn't talking to her. We weren't talking about Coco. But nah, she said, fuck, how can I hate on Coco? Hey, 𝙏𝙖, I'm on my way off. Y'all be easy. Coco, I hope you find what you need. Boom, that's all we needed. But no, she said, how can I bring Coco into this? How can I put down Coco with my words right now? And then again, 𝙏𝙖, you letting this slide, bruh? 𝙏𝙖 got to lock in as a teacher. Let's keep it a stack. 𝙏𝙖 got to lock in as a teacher. He already shouldn't let her be walking off alone in this big ass city as a young girl, just on some like good teacher shit, right? Even assuming the brimmed cap dude wasn't out here tweaking. So part of this, and part of this is 𝙏𝙖's fault, bruh. Because I feel like if 𝙏𝙖 really pressed Agott and was like, hey, you know, this is your classmate now, respect her, then we would be having a different discussion. But nah, 𝙏𝙖 out here bullshitting, bro. And look at Coco, bro. This is what really gets me. Coco's reaction after all of it. She's so hurt. She feels so disrespected. How are things going with Agott? Again, 𝙏𝙖, you just saw how things are going with Agott. I'm not gonna lie. 𝙏𝙖's starting to like, I don't know. You saw what just happened. And, oh, how are things going with Agott? Bro, we see what's going on with Agott. She's being bullied. And you're letting it, this is a bully. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, bro. Niggas want to fry Bakugo. It's time to fry Agott. This is a bully. But we got bully defenders in here, so, you know, I guess. Next exhibit. Exhibit F. All right. This exhibit takes place, right? All right, boom. All right, so they're in the dragon debacle, okay? Now, Coco just so happens to see the magic circle up here, which, to be fair, is the exit to the, this is the key that they eventually needed, for better or worse. All right, so she goes to tap it with Agott, and she fucks up Agott's spell. Agott was in the midst of drawing some sort of seal to break through the wall. Coco, big heavy-handed ass, tap her shoulder a bit too heavy, and she messes up Agott's spell. Now, Agott, she's tight. You can see the hand. You can see the hand shaking. You can see the lips crackling, bro. Chapped ass lips. You can see the teeth growling. And Agott, all right, she turns around and kind of snaps. Yo, what's wrong with you, bro? You don't touch someone while they're drawing. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie. I don't agree with the tone that she took, but I can't say she was unjustified here. I can't call this hate yet. I can't call this hate because, the situation that they're in, plus Coco's clumsiness, yeah, I would be pretty mad myself if you, heavy-handed my shoulder while I'm drawing the spell to get us out of this death situation, and now the spell don't work anymore. So yeah, low key, I'll lower the meter for that. I'll say, she deserves a little reset. Didn't do it on purpose. Yes, I'm sure you didn't. Okay, she's clearly frustrated, which is again fair. Turning your mother into stone. Okay, now again, immediately crosses the line. Bringing up my girl's potentially dead mother to her face. Did not have to bring Mama Coco into this was not the topic. This was not the topic at hand. Immediately got to super hating. You didn't mean any of it, did you? But it's still all your fault, Coco. Just stop doing anything. Again, for those of y'all who are Team Agott, who think, she's just trying to help her learn. Just stop doing where's the love in this tough love? Yo, just stop doing anything, bro. Die. Where's the love? Super hate. Exhibit G. All right, Teddy and Coco are having their little bonding moment. Teddy is talking about her dream. I want to become, I want to have my own spell one day. Let's become witches. They're having a good moment. All right, they happy. They're giggling. Look, okay, now look. It's like she waited. It's like she waited for the perfect timing. And let me tell you something. Listen closely to the OST. The OST knew she was hating. They stopped playing the instrument. And then, you know, she does go on to give some decent advice. But again, it's the presentation. If you want to lie on top of this, it needs to be made of a substance with more mass. Okay, now this line right here is kind of hate. It's kind of hate. But it's low-key respectable, given the fact that, you know what I mean? Yeah, they are talking about dreams while their reality is they're trapped in an alternate dimension hiding from a dragon. So I can't be too mad at this. This is decent. Especially on her scale. I'll give her credit there. How are we going to get out of here? That's a fair question. That's a fair question. She's putting them back on topic. I'll give credit where credit is due. We needed someone to get us back locked in right now. And then, yeah, she starts explaining. All right, let's move on to the next exhibit. Exhibit H. I think this might be the last exhibit or two. Okay. Yeah. So at this point, right, Ben came up with Coco's plan. They're trying to think about, you know, how they're going to execute on the plan. And to be fair, I'll give a guy her credit where credit is due. She is carrying the team and executing this plan. Coco comes around, you know, happy as hell. What should I do? How can I contribute? Boom, immediately shoot her ass down, man. Just stay out of it. Now look, I will say that she's not entirely wrong in thinking that Coco has no place here yet. However, let's see how she presents her argument. I've agreed to your plan, but you're not at a skill level where I can trust you with a spell. The best thing you could do is stay out of our way. Now, here's my problem with this. Okay? One, she's talking like she's doing Coco a favor. Oh, I mean, I've agreed to your plan. Just stay out of our way, okay? I mean, fuck you too, but I guess she's kind of spitting. However, again, the presentation is just unnecessarily nasty, where I'm like, bro, what's good with you? She asked what she can do. You could have easily said, you know, go scout for the magic circle, which she already knew where it was, by the way. But nah, stay out of our way. Get gone. And again, it goes back to this thing where, like, for every time Agott is valid in her thought process, her presentation be absolutely disgusting. It's not even that she's not sugarcoating. She is actively coating her words in salt for the wounds. Not sugarcoating is one thing. Coating your shit in bitter poison is a whole nother thing, bro. All right, now look. Is this the last exhibit? No, it's not the last exhibit. We got 2 more exhibits. All right, so this is after Coco's plan works. Everything is cool. They distracted the dragon with the heat pad. The dragon falls. Nice. All right, now let's look right here already. Look at her expression in the cutaway. Hating already. The dragon disabler cushion. Okay, this was kind of a lame name, I won't lie. But now look what she proceeds to do. We talked about it before. Fourth wall breaking hate. She broke the fourth. You're not supposed to be able to move in one of these cutaways, bro. This was supposed to save the animation budget. She said, nah, y'all gonna have to animate me out this motherfucker. Starts walking away. Look, the cutaway is still behind them. You can see the light coming from back there. The cutaway is still behind them. Wrong, it's the serpent's bed of sand. I'm not gonna lie, now that I'm thinking about that name, it's a little bit tougher. Serpent's bed of sand? Let me tell you what you should have called it. You should have called it, oh, I'm about to come up with some fire. You should have called it the Sleeping Serpent Sand Wave. The Sleeping Serpent Sand Bed. The Sleeping Serpent Sand Bed. Triple F. Sleeping Serpent Sand. That's fire. And look, even after she's hating, the rest of the team is still like supporting her. I feel like 𝙏𝙖 be peeping the hate on the low. Now look, for this last exhibit, I had to be fair. I wanted to end on a positive note, and I wanted to show a moment where I thought she really did her big one, and she showed love in her own sort of way. So for this last exhibit, let's watch Agott do something relatively heroic. All right, the dragon, you know what I mean? They opened up the portal. They messed up the magic circle, opened up the portal, found their way out, and the dragon is still flying around, right? The dragon is at large once again, and this time they're in even more precarious of a situation since they're, you know, atop the tower. All right, Agott sees the dragon coming. She pushes down Coco. Low-key saves her life on some shit. Actually, let's run that back to see if we really got to give her life-saving creds. Would Coco have died here? All right, she pushes her down. Oh yeah, that dragon tail would have taken her out. We get a look at Agott, and she low-key unintentionally sacrificed herself for Big Co, bro. I gotta respect that. As much hate as she put into the universe, I gotta respect this. She don't got her sylph shoes. She thinks she's about to die. Was she trying to farm before the death, bro? Why is she not flailing or nothing? Just accepting it. Accepting she's about to get fucking gobbled. Keyfree comes in, handles it, and yeah, that's that. I gotta give credit where credit is due. If I see hate, I'm gonna call out the hate. If I see love, if I see respectable motion, I'm gonna call out the love. I gotta give Agott credit for that move right there. And coming into this next episode, you know, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. So if we go into this next episode in a few seconds and, you know what I mean, maybe she's warming up to Coco a little bit, not being as much of a bully, then you know what? I'll charge it to the game. I'll say she's young and we'll wipe the slate clean.